What's going down, people? TK coming at you, Mr. Finance Hero on social media, and hashtag Master Wealth Builders. So 1956, consular courts was dismantled in the North Gate, right? But according to the Constitution and the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, also known as the Treaty of Amity and Commerce, all disputes between citizens and nationals should be handled in a consular court. So why was consular courts dismantled? And if consular courts were dismantled, then what are current courts? Are the current courts within the land constitutional under Article 3, Article 6? And if they are constitutional, then demand proof of that allegiance to the Constitution and oath. Because we're in a situation where people are victimized by color of law. Color meaning something appearing to be what it's not. It's fake. It's false. It's not de jure. So we're in a situation where people are victimized by the lack of information. They don't know Constitution, law, history. And you have these imposters, people that pose as factual when they're not factual. So you're pretending to be government when you're not government. You're pretending to be a court when you're not a court. You're pretending to be a judge when you're a magistrate. And these are the things that people must realize. You must separate yourself from the color of law, because when you call yourself out of your proper name and proper person, then guess what? You are outside of the fold of humanity. You are outside of the jurisdiction of Constitution and treaty. So you keep calling yourself a label, a brand, right? You keep calling yourself black, which black means lack of color. And you fall underneath the Christian black codes when you call yourself black. So stop calling yourself black. You separate yourself as a non-human, and then you, by choice, choose to call yourself a label. When all humans are protected under nations, and all nations are protected under flag, and all rights from nations come from Constitution and treaty. So what nation is black? What nation is Latino? What nation is all these other names in which people tend to call themselves? People are named after the land, and the land is named after people. So you have to be in honor of the nation that you were born in. So you're in dishonor by calling yourself black, because there's no such nation. Therefore, there's no constitution for black people. There's no treaty for black people, because you have to honor the forefathers, your bloodline, that created the treaty and the constitution of that nation. So you're not honoring anything when there was no black person that wrote a treaty or a constitution, which means you're in dishonor of your bloodline. Your bloodline can be traced to your forefathers, and they are responsible for the Constitution and treaty of the land in which you live. So if you are dishonoring your bloodline by calling yourself something other than what your forefathers were, then guess what? You're outside of the fold of humanity. You're outside of the human race. Therefore, you have no human rights, and you're not entitled to any such protection under any court. Because that nation and that bloodline has nothing to do with the label that you're calling yourself. You're not fucking black, Latino, colored. You're not any of these labels, these caste systems, these brand systems. You fall underneath property of the Roman Cure or the Christian black codes. So if you agree to call yourself a slave, property, a serf, a subject of the Roman court system, then don't complain about the victimization the human trafficking and the subjugation that comes with managing people who are in dishonor, people who are not following the establishment of their forefathers through their bloodline.